Hello, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Sada, and I was looking for a really good chapter book to read all of you. And I started thinking back to the beginning of the school year when we had Tamarack Rescue Center come in for a Title I event, and they brought Prudence, the possum, and that started a fascination with possums for me. And so when I saw this book by Holly Goldberg Sloan called Appleblossom, the Possum, I thought this would be a great book to share with all of you. So I snapped it up, and I also got an apple blossom that can sit and listen with us. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read a few chapters every day and put it up on our YouTube channel so that we can read together. So I'm going to get started. Appleblossom the Possum by Holly Goldberg Sloan, illustrated by Gary A. Rosen. Now I'm going to warn you, there aren't a lot of illustrations in the book, but when there are, I will do my very best to show them to you. All right, let's get started. I'm so excited. Appleblossom the Possum. For Annie and Katie, my sisters, and for my brother Bill. The illustrations are very cute. Appleblossom the Possum. Chapter 1. One moment she was calm and cozy with a knee in her nose and a tail around her neck, and then push comes to shove and she's out. But she doesn't have fur to keep her warm, and her eyes can't open, so there's nothing to see. She hears her brothers and sisters all take the gulp of life, and they don't sound happy. And then something speaks to her. Thump, 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 thump. Her mother's beating heart tells her she should move. Does a pounding beat always say that to a living thing? The newborn possum babies need to get inside their mother's pouch. So she starts slowly. She is less than an inch long. The chill of the night air bites as she drags herself forward. At her side, 3 other babies slip off the large belly and quiver in the mud below. So it's good that she can't see. The wind rattles branches and shakes wet pine needles. A blue-eyed crow on a perch in the distance caws a warning. But a dozen minutes later, when the tiny possum finally reaches the opening to her mother's pouch, she's out of energy. Her body trembles as her tiny hands and little tiny feet, equipped with the tiniest of thumbs, grow numb. Mama, I can't move. There's no answer, just the thump, thump, thump to advance. Mama, I'm stuck. Mama, Ma. Then luck is on her side because Mama Possum suddenly sits up and her pouch opens and gravity does the rest. The baby tumbles down, down, down. The thump, thump, thump is louder here, and it's joined by whomps, many of them. They are fast and so familiar. Womp, 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 womp. Are her brothers and sisters congratulating her on making it inside? The heartbeats are like applause. As she settles into the crowded, safe place, a tail wraps around her neck and a knee jabs her in the nose. She understands they are all in this journey together. Chapter 2. The babies of a first-time possum mother must have the names that begin with the letter A. This explains to half-sisters and half-brothers, cousins and aunts, uncles, grandparents, and other relatives how they each fit into their own possum family. Second batch babies, according to the possum tradition, use the letter B. Not many possum mothers reach G, but there is a clan on the edge of the city dump that claims enough litters for the babies to have Z names. There are rumors that they skipped ahead, and there's no way of knowing for sure, but it's a fact that there is a group of possums at the dump named Zeke, Zach, Zelda, Zoe, Zeta, Zalman, and Zahara, and Zeus, and Ziggy, which makes them very, very special. The A babies, recently born under a rotten log in the middle of a cold night, live in their mother's pouch on a lifeline of liquid food. Their eyes open, their fur grows, and so do their bodies. 2 months later, they are strong enough to be out in the world. Mama Possum is a free thinker, and she encourages her babies to find their own names. So far, there is Antonio and Alyssa, plus Abdul and Ajax and Alberta and Angie and Alan and Alfonso and Atticus and Algerandro, Augusta, and there is Hamlet. He wanted to be named Hamlet, but he wasn't an H baby. But the last one to enter the pouch, the littlest possum that almost didn't make it to safety, still has no name. She is 77 days old and must learn possum life, which means she's taking acting lessons. The other possums watched as she wiggled around on a patch of dirt. She's rehearsing being a snake. Mama Possum, who is a natural theater director, instructed her, "Your tail looks believable, but you need to feel more like a snake in your body. Move from the inside." The littlest possum raised her hand. Her question isn't about technique. While squirming, she has gotten distracted. That happens to her a lot. "I want everyone to know that there's something hatching above us on the tree," she says. Antonio calls out, "Those are apple blossoms, and they don't hatch, they're flowers." Antonio has answers. He's just a natural-born thinker. Her brother Ajax started to laugh, but not in a good way. She thinks a flower is alive. She's an apple blossom. Alberta giggles. "No, she's not." Mama Possum claps her hands together, and that signals that it's time to take a break, or at the very least that Ajax should watch his mouthy attitude. But the littlest possum doesn't mind. She knows that Ajax said what Ajax said was meant as an insult, but she likes the way the word sounds. Apple blossom. She raises her voice so that they call on her. "Today I take the name Appleblossom." No one answers, so she adds, "Don't try calling me Allison," Ajax sputtered. "We won't." And from that moment on, she is Appleblossom the possum. It isn't long before the break is over and it's time to return to theater class. Here's a picture of Appleblossom with an apple blossom. She surprised her brother, didn't she, by liking him, making fun of her. Appleblossom is happy that it's another possum's turn. Her eyes focus on her sister Angie. She doesn't have to be a snake. She's more advanced, and she's doing a scene with Hamlet. All the possums are quiet. This is a very dramatic scene, and Angie is a very dramatic possum. She puts her hand to her forehead and moans, "No, no, the drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet, the drink, the drink. I am poisoned." Angie falls to the ground. Her breathing slows to next to nothing. Then her neck stiffens. Her arms and legs extend straight out, and her tongue rolls out of her mouth. Appleblossom is horrified, but Mama Possum claps, and the rest of the group cheers. There's nothing these possum babies like more than to celebrate a worthy performance, and this is an excellent death scene. Appleblossom's voice quivered with concern. Are you sure that Angie's okay? She really doesn't look good. Maybe we should check on her. The smallest possum turns away. She has tears in her eyes. Mama tries to comfort her as she explains that acting is a vital part of being a possum. But none of them has any idea why. Okay, that's where we're going to stop because we're about to start chapter 3. Maybe think about why taking acting classes for a possum would be so important. I'm trying to remember all those things we learned about Prudence when she came and visited our title event. One of the things I remember is that they have something where they play dead so that other animals will leave them alone. So I'm wondering if that doesn't have something to do with why they're pretending and taking acting lessons. But we'll find out probably in the next couple chapters. It was good reading to you. Bye.